There are some days on the broadcast that are just a little bit more special, and today is one of them. I'm excited to share with you a Christmas story. I'll be honest, it brought a tear to my eye. I think it might do that to you as well. Hope you'll listen on. God bless. Well, hello, friends. Thank you so much for being a part of this opening day of this week of broadcasts. I'm so excited because we are in the most wonderful time of the year. I hope you agree. I know we've had somewhat of a tumultuous year, but thankfully, God is still on the throne, and I'm excited about the program that we have today. I believe it just might touch your heart. So if your heart is a few sizes too small, if you feel a little bit grinchy, then stick around because I think this will be a help to you. I know I can speak for myself when I say that as I was looking over the material for today, I was thinking that the corner of my eyes were getting just a little bit misty. I'm not sure why that was, but maybe we'll find out together. Thank you so much again for your listenership. I greatly appreciate, truly, the investment of time. And so many of our listeners are also financial partners with us for our ministry, Bible Tracts Incorporated. Of course, this radio program entitled Bible Tract Echoes is just a subsidiary. It's just an arm of BTI, Bible Tracts Inc. The ministry has been around for over 8 decades, if you can believe that. Started by evangelist Paul Levine, and God has seen fit to allow it to not only survive, but thrive for over 8 decades, and we're so happy about that. I have big shoes to fill, both with our founder and my predecessor, Pastor Mark Smith, and had the chance to talk to him not long ago. Such a joy. Always a great privilege to get counsel from him, and he says hello to you, his listening audience from a year or so ago, and now I get to be in the driver's seat, behind the helm, and I'm so thankful for those of you that have stuck with us. I will take a moment and tell you about a gospel tract. If you've been listening for the last couple of weeks, you'll recognize the tract I'm about to tell you about. It's called The Characters of Christmas. You say, why are you bringing it up again? Well, because if you don't order it right now, today, it might not get to you until too late. With the USPS and our shipping timeframes being in an upheaval, I need you, if you'd like some of this tract, if you'd like it to be useful to you during this Christmas season, make sure you order it today. You may be asking, what's the tract about? Well, as we look at the nativity scene, as we look at the story of Christmas, there are multiple characters. Of course, you have the shepherds and the wise men, the angels, the baby, Mary and Joseph. And this tract goes through each of those characters and tells you what a miracle it was that God used them. And then it turns it back around on you and on me. Because, truthfully, friend, you and I, in our human, sin-ridden state, the way that we came into this world, we, truthfully, are useless to God. We have nothing to offer the King of all eternity. But thankfully, there was a free gift that was offered some 2,000 years ago to you and to me. And that's what this gospel tract tells you about. If you'd like to order this tract, we print them, we distribute them, we package them, we ship them for free, not just in the continental United States, but around the world. And that's how our ministry has operated for over 80 years. And we'd love for you to be a part. If you'd like to partner with us by ordering this gospel tract called The Characters of Christmas, go to our website, BibleTractsInc.org. One more time, that's BibleTractsInc.org. At the conclusion of the program, the announcer will come on and tell you all of the ways that you can connect with us. If you have an issue with your internet connection or you can't seem to find it, just let us know. Just wait around for the announcer at the conclusion. If you'd like to partner with us on a financial basis, and thankfully, praise God, there are so many people that allow us by their generosity and being pricked in the heart that they want to be a part of our ministry. They also partner with us on a financial basis, and if you'd like to do that, you can also visit our website, BibleTractsInc.org, and you can find the Donate tab in the top right of the very first page. You can find the Donate tab. I'd also like to take just a moment and let you know that before we get too deep into our program, I would love to hear from you. One of the most amazing possibilities presented by this ministry, Bible Tract Echoes, that plays on 50 or 60 different stations nationwide and actually around the world, one of the greatest privileges is having the opportunity to hear from people just like you. I've had the chance to walk people through the salvation plan, how Jesus tells us how that we can know for sure where we're going to spend eternity. I've had the chance via text message to fellowship with other Christian brothers and sisters from literally the world over, and I'd love to make the same offer to you. If you'd like, you can text me directly. The phone number is this, 309-316-7240. Maybe you have a word of encouragement. Maybe you'd like to share your salvation testimony. Maybe you have a question on doctrine. We've just concluded the majority of our discipleship studies of the past week or so. Maybe you have a question in that vein. If you'd like to get in contact with me for any reason, or if you'd just like to tell me where you are listening from, I'd love to hear that. It would be such an encouragement to me. Again, you can text me directly, 309-316-7240, and I promise that after you get set up there, it'll ask you to just put in a little bit of your information. We won't ask you for any money or anything like that. It will be me texting you, not some robot, not somebody else in the office here. It will be me personally, and I'd greatly appreciate the opportunity. Now, we're going to turn our attention to what we may focus on for the next week or so. Of course, Christmas approaching very quickly, and I'm excited to share with you something that came across my radar not long ago. I'm going to share a story that, again, as I said, it made me just a little bit misty-eyed as I read it, and if I was feeling a little bit grinchy, and maybe I was feeling a little bit less of the holiday cheer than I should have been, this story definitely helped me out, and I think it might just be a blessing to you as well. What I'd like you to do is this: if you can, put aside some of the distractions that are bothering you right now and put out of your mind the cares of life and circumstances and things, and focus in, if you can, and I know this is a big ask, but focus in on my voice as I relay to you this story that truthfully smote me at my heart. I'd love for you to make some practical application for your life as I read aloud this short Christmas story. Listen now, if you would. It was Christmas Eve, 1942. I was 15 years old and feeling like the world had caved in on me because there just hadn't been enough money to buy me the little rifle that I had wanted for Christmas. We did the chores early that night for some reason. I just figured Daddy wanted a little extra time so we could read in the Bible. And after supper was over, I took my boots off and stretched out in front of the fireplace and waited for Daddy to get down that old Bible. I was still feeling sorry for myself, and to be honest, I wasn't in too much of a mood to read scriptures, but Daddy didn't get down the Bible. Instead, he bundled up again and went outside. I couldn't figure it out because we had already done all the chores. I didn't worry about it long enough, though. I was too busy wallowing in self-pity. Soon he came back in. It was a cold, clear night out there, and there was ice in his beard. "Come on, Matt," he said. "Bundle up good. It's cold out tonight." I was really upset then. Not only wasn't I getting the rifle for Christmas, now he was dragging me out in the cold, and for no earthly reason that I could see. We'd already done all the chores, and I couldn't think of anything else that needed doing, especially not on a night like this. But I knew he wasn't very patient with me dragging my feet when he told me to do something, so I got up and put my boots back on and got my coat. Mom gave me a mysterious smile as I opened the door to leave the house. Something was up, but I didn't know quite what it was. Outside, I became even more dismayed. There, in front of the house, was the work team, already hitched to the big sled. Whatever it was we were going to do wasn't going to be some short, quick little job. I could tell. We never hitched up this sled unless we were going to haul a big load. Daddy was already up on the seat, reins in hand. I reluctantly climbed up beside him. The cold was already biting at me. I wasn't happy. When I was on, Daddy pulled the sled around the house and stopped in front of the woodshed. He got off, and I followed. "I think we'll put on the high sideboards," he said. "Here, help me." The high sideboards? It had been a bigger job than I wanted to do with just the low sideboards on, but whatever it was we were going to do would be a lot bigger with the high sideboards on. Then Daddy went into the woodshed and came out with an armload of wood. The wood I'd spent all summer hauling down from the mountain, and then all fall sawing into blocks and splitting. What was he doing? Finally, I said something. I asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "You been to Widow Jensen's lately?" Mrs. Jensen lived about 2 miles down the road. Her husband had died a year or so before and left her with 3 children, the oldest being 8. Sure, I'd been by, but so what? "Yeah," I said. "Why?" "I rode by just today," he said. Little Jakey was out digging around in the wood pile trying to find a few chips. "They're out of wood, Matt." That was all he said, and then he turned and went back into the woodshed for another armload of wood. I followed him. We loaded the sled so high that I began to wonder if the horses would be able to pull it. Finally, he called a halt to our loading. Then we went to the smokehouse. He took down a big ham and a side of bacon. He handed them to me and told me to put them in the sled and wait. When he returned, he was carrying a sack of flour over his right shoulder and a smaller sack of something else in his left hand. "What's in the sack, Dad?" I asked. "Shoes. They're out of shoes, son. Little Jakey just had gunny sacks wrapped around his feet when he was out in the wood pile this morning. I got the children a little candy as well. It just wouldn't be Christmas without a little candy," he said. We rode the 2 miles to Mrs. Jensen's pretty much in silence. I tried to think through what Daddy was doing. We didn't have much by worldly standards. Of course, we did have a big wood pile, though most of what was left now was still in the form of logs that I would have to saw into blocks and split before we could use it. We also had meat and flour, so I guess we could spare that, but I knew we didn't have any money. So why was he buying them shoes and candy? Really, why was he doing any of this? Widow Jensen had closer neighbors than us. It shouldn't have been our concern. Now, friend, I've got to tell you, I did not intend on leaving you on a cliffhanger, but I promise, tomorrow, right here on the Bible Tract Echoes radio program, I'll bring you, as they say, the rest of the story. I so greatly appreciate you listening today. I know the conclusion of this story will stir your heart, and as I said, I did not intend to split it over 2 days, but time has run out on me. And so I hope you'll join me tomorrow. Thank you for listening to the Bible Tract Echoes radio broadcast during this Christmas season. God bless you. Have a great day for His glory.